Hello, everyone. This is the Manka Show, episode 3 from Mexico. So, today I'm going to chat with Gena Lofton. So, Gena Lofton, she's an investor, author, and speaker. Homeless and abandoned at age of 2. Her primary goal was financial freedom. Within a few years, she achieved financial freedom by acquiring over 4,000 apartment units, other income producing assets, while simultaneously on the management team of the world's largest pay TV company, DirecTV. Today, she teaches anyone how to achieve financial freedom. Gena wrote the book, Escape the Madness: 10 Steps to Get Out of the Rat Race. So now I take a little break before Gena shows up. So see you soon, guys. My main topic or theme or whatever that I want to learn more about and share more about is connection. And when we speak about connection, we most of the time we think about connecting with others or myself. I kind of had the feeling that, when I was thinking about you and your journey to get to that goal, to gain financial security and create what you created, you gotta have connection to something, to a belief or some inner truth.
It's good. It's a good question. And I've really been doing some soul searching myself on that question to try to figure it out myself. So let me just start with this. When I was a little girl and I was abandoned, right? I was about 6 years old, and I was told by my foster mother that I'm not rich, I'm not pretty, so I better be smart. Okay. And it broke me down. I mean, literally, as a young kid that's that age, that's homeless, that has no family, I would have it was traumatic for me to hear that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Traumatic. So because I'm like, okay, I'm not rich, I'm not pretty, and I'm like, there's no way that I could ever be smart because I wasn't even in school. Smart was just not that was not what I thought I would ever be, and I still am not. So the only thing that I can do, Anna, was to convince myself to have 1/3 of all of those things, right? I knew I would never be the prettiest person. I knew I would never be the richest person, and I knew I would never be the smartest person. So I just had to literally, in order for me to live, I mean, seriously, just to get up the next day, right? As a little girl at 6 years old, that wasn't pretty and had no shoes and no, I just literally had to retrain my brain, right? Into believing something different than what I was being told, right?
Was it conscious that I will make myself believe that I can have 1/3 of each of these things? Like, was it a conscious decision for you?
It was. It was because the alternative was to cry, right?
Yeah.
And for me to not cry, I had to convince myself of something other than what was true,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
So it was very conscious because I didn't want to cry
Yeah.
um, every single day of my life.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
Yeah.
I had to convince myself of something different. Um, so in order for me not to cry, right? Because every single day of your life, you look in the mirror and you're just, you're not pretty, you're not rich, so you better be like, okay.
And actually, you believe when your foster parent told you that you are not pretty, you believed, right? You didn't
Of
have an
course.
evidence. You didn't have an evidence. I'm sure you were a very pretty, cute little girl.
No, I was kind of, chunky and had
Well,
little
so
two
what?
bitty
Like,
nails or whatever. I mean, I wasn't ugly, but I wasn't like the most fabulous kid, Um, and so as a kid, you kind of like, you believe that, and then to be told that after being abandoned, then
Yeah.
that must be why I'm abandoned. In order for me just to live at that moment, at that very moment, I had to build my self-esteem to prevent people from tearing me down.
So
Yeah, all of those things.
you made this conscious decision. You saw it clearly that either I cry every day in my life or I make a decision and I'm gonna have 1/3 of all these things, and you
Yes.
started believing in that.
And I started believing. I said, I'm going to have 1/3 of everything, 1/3 of everything. And so, um, I, the financial freedom came first for me. Like that was so important to me. I knew that I needed a degree, right?
Mhm.
Because that's what I was told is you go to school and you get a job. So that was what was told.
I just love the way you tell this story because, like I was told, so I made a decision. I was told, so and it looks so simple, but it
Yes.
also looks so smart that,
Yeah.
okay, so if these are the rules, I'm going to play according to these rules. So that's
Right.
really smart. That's very smart.
Exactly. And, I grew up in South Central Los Angeles in the 80s and 90s where it was lots of drugs and the Rodney King riots. And these are my friends, they're the drug
Yeah.
murderers and convicts and blah, 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 blah. So I didn't want that life, right? It's like, okay, I don't want to be on drugs. I don't want to be some drug dealer's girlfriend and have babies mamas and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So in order for me not to do that, I chose to go to school in order to live, right? Because I didn't think I would live to be 30, right? I mean, or 20. I mean, living to 21 was a milestone. Like it was like, oh, I made it this far. Oh my God, I'm still here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's how LA was, right? Back in the days. So you literally did not know if you were going to live.
Yeah.
All right. So that's how it was. So in order for me to have the highest probability of living, I thought and not to be in jail living, right, was to go to school. So I went to school and I had to work in order to pay for school, right? And so I was smart enough to get a job. When you don't have that higher purpose, you are unfulfilled.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Like I must always have some other mission or goal or purpose that is providing some type of value to society, right? In some form or fashion. We all have to redefine or retrain ourselves to be something more, right? And to learn I'm constantly learning, right? I'm constantly learning. I may not be going to formal school, but I'm online. I'm learning about, like right now, it's narcissistic personality disorders.
Yeah.
I'm learning more about my own psychological, I wouldn't say faults, but my own personality, right?
Yeah.
And identifying who I am in order to become a more fulfilled person, right?
Yeah, totally. And if you just jump back to the beginning of the story, like what I'm really really interested in, did you ever doubt yourself, or did you feel fear, or you had this inner knowing that you will get there?
That's a good question. So I always had a fear of my abilities, okay, right? And it's funny. So years and years ago, I was dating a guy and he was in real estate and I thought he knew more than me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out he didn't, right? And anyway, and was losing all kinds of money. It was horrible.
Just had good marketing, He
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, anyway, so anyway, that was probably the first attempt. And then I was like, okay, because as women, now here's the other dynamic, because
Yeah.
women always have this feeling that they are not as smart as a male.
Okay.
I had that feeling. And I think subconsciously, there are times I still have that feeling, right? That, oh, I don't have it as much as I do today because I'm much more mature. This was like, 15, 20 years ago. But I still kind of have it today, especially if they are older, right? And then they, may have gone to better schools or this or that, or, they're highly intelligent. I think sometimes that, oh, they must know more than me, right? That's not true. So anyway, so the first attempt was a failure. Second attempt, I had to the second attempt, I made it in, I knew what I was doing, but I actually made an investment with somebody who was now a con artist, right? And then he lost all my money, seriously.
That's great.
It was like, it was hilarious. I mean, I can laugh about it now, but at the time, you're just like, what?
Yeah. So when something like that happened, did you, because so many people, when something like that happens, they just stop. They say,
right,
okay,
they do.
this is not
You
for
got
me.
to get back on the horse and go again, right?
Yeah.
You got to get back on the horse and go again, right? So because I came from the streets, right? I didn't have anything. So fortunately, I was really good at creating something out of nothing, right? And really good at economics. And once you know how to make money, it becomes easier to do it, right? Once you know, and it becomes easier and faster once you know how it works, right? But I knew I needed $10,000 a month in passive income. And I just literally said $10,000 a month. And I put this on a piece of paper. And then I said, okay, that means I need $1 million earning 10%, right? That gets me about $100,000 a year, right? Or about $8,300. And literally, it was just like this. What? I'm not kidding you. And I'm just like, okay, well, I've got a few problems. I don't have $1 million.
That's the number one.
It's like, I said, oh my Lord. I'm like, okay, now what does a girl do? I don't have $1 million. Shoot. Okay, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is a problem. So I said, okay, if I don't have $1 million, how can I get it? Well, if I'm saving like $2,000 a month, that's going to take me 41 years, right?
Okay.
Now I'm like,
that's
oh
my
God.
That's not an option.
An option, because I needed to do this like quickly. Quickly. So I said, the only way that I could do that is by buying a building, making the building worth more money, right? By increasing the income and going back to the bank to get my money back, right? So, let's just say the building is $500,000. I need to put $100,000 down at a 20% loan. I was able to save $100,000 by saving money, by borrowing, right? I borrowed money to put the down payment, right? I borrowed money to put the down payment, and I had some savings. So after 6 months, I made the property worth more money, right? By this time, it's probably worth, let's just say, $800,000. I don't remember the exact numbers at the time. So then I go back to the bank to get my $100,000 back, right? And now that building is kicking off. I needed 10,000 bucks a month. So now that building is kicking off maybe 2,000 bucks, right, a month.
Yeah.
So great. Now I just do that a few more times.
Yeah.
In a very, very, very quick manner. And I just use this same dollar that I originally had over and over and over and over and over and over again, literally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's also about minimizing my taxes, right?
Yeah.
So I want to, because, you know, at the end of the day, in the United States, especially in the state of California, you could be paying upwards of 50% of your money in taxes.
Yeah.
Especially if you earn a high income and if you make your money the wrong way.
Yeah.
By having a job or being a consultant. So I just chose to earn my income by being a business owner or investor by utilizing the tax code, working with my team, my CPA, my attorneys, and blah, 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 blah. You know, a whole team. I wrote a book called Escape the Madness, the 10 Steps to Get Out of the Rat Race.
Yeah.
And it's a very, remember, I am not, so it's a very easy read. It's written for a third grade education for anybody to do it. And it's with any other asset class. I mean, I do real estate. I do dividend income. I have royalty income. I have oil and gas income. I have business income. I don't really care what kind of income it is, right?
Yeah.
As long as enables me to print money legally fast.
Yeah.
Right.
I totally believe, Gena, that what you're doing, it's a real creation. You are an artist. You're a financial artist, because what you do is not just happening. It's not that you are getting support or whatever. You are creating this. You are so courageous, so extremely courageous. So where does that courage come from?
I actually don't accept no, right? If I have been told no, I've either asked the right question to the wrong person,
okay,
or I've asked the right question to the right question to the wrong person, or the wrong question to the right person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. As an example, I'm actually doing what's called a cash out refinance right now.
Okay.
That's taken me 5 months, literally 5 months. So I started the process, and I wanted to get, when you're an investor, you try to get as much money as you can and pay the least amount of money for the money, meaning the interest rate, right?
Yeah.
With all of the benefits that you want for yourself, meaning if something goes bad with the loan, you don't want to be held responsible for, paying the loan back, which is called non-recourse. You want the highest loan to value, right? Mm-hmm. You want the longest amortization schedule, right? Mm-hmm. In order to pay the least amount of money every single month.
Yeah.
You want interest only. All right. So we start this process 5 months ago. I go to my bank and denied. Okay. I'm like, guys, you're my bankers. Why are you're my bankers. You get the money from my property manager every single month.
Yeah.
They're like, take it up to the office of the president. So obviously I'm asking the right question mm-hmm. to the wrong person, okay. Which is my bank, mm-hmm. right? Because I'm being denied.
Yeah.
So now you start over again, and then you go and look for someone else. And then I get a kind of a very high interest rate. It may have been like 7 or 8%, right?
Okay.
So I say, I'm not paying that much money for money, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm asking the right question to the wrong person. Mm-hmm. Now I've got to go to find someplace else. And this whole process takes a long time, right? Because they got to go, it's excruciatingly painful. now this guy, he actually is saying, yes, all of the things look perfect. And then we get into a little bit more details, and it's a recourse loan, meaning if something happens, I am going to be responsible and I'll be sued for paying the loan back.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I guess we're almost there. This is like dating. I mean, literally, I actually think this is worse than dating. Way worse than dating, right? So here I am again. I got to start all the way from scratch again, because each time you do this, right, you've got to divulge your entire, like, you might as well have EKG, your whole biology, who your ancestors were. You know, I'm being facetious, but
yeah,
getting a loan is like the most painful thing, right?
Yeah,
it's completely evasive. Oh, so yeah, it's so horrible. Anyway, the process. So now I finally get to this last and final lender, and I got everything that I originally wanted. I have a low interest rate. The amortization is over 40 years. The interest for the first 10 is interest only, and I could pull out $1 million. I asked the right question to the right person. So you never accept no. You must get back up, brush yourself off, and find the yes, right? Mm-hmm. Find the yes. Oh, and then some people wanted you to have a job. Like, that was the other dilemma. Like, guys, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Right, and it's okay for me to be different. Exactly. So, yeah. So I'm an investor, right? First and foremost, right? I am a professional investor. Now I just say I'm an author and a speaker, right? And because I am. I mean, I wrote a book and I speak.
Right.
Exactly. And I have a show. And yeah, the Gena Lofton show. But first and foremost, you know, my income comes from my businesses. So I have goals, right? For myself, for financial goals, relationship goals, spiritual goals, emotional goals, family goals, educational goals, right? And I create a vision board, which I talk about in my book.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to lose 10 pounds this year, right? Or I'm going to build more muscles this year, right? Or I'm going to travel to this place this year, whatever.
Yeah, but you know, Gina, what happens is that many people set goals and have a vision board, but something happens between the setting the goals and having the vision board and the actual achieving the goal. Something here between falls apart. So what if you look at yourself, what are the inner qualities in you that you are having, you are connected to, that helps you from this point to that point, you know, from setting the goals, get to the actual goals, like your inner qualities. What are those? Because when I met
First of all, I write them down, right? That's step one, right? Because a goal that's not written is a hallucination. I mean, and it's true. It's true. You're hallucinating, right? And you're only lying to you.
Exactly.
Right. So if it's not written down, it's a hallucination. And if it's not a SMART goal, meaning specific, measurable, assignable, right? You could track it. It's quantifiable. You have a finite timeline.
Wow.
It's not a goal either, right? It needs to be, okay, I'm going to increase my passive income by 20% within the next 12 months, right? Or I had to generate $10,000 per month.
Yeah.
So I have finite timelines for my goals, whether that's weight, whether that's learning something, whether that's traveling, whether that's my net worth, whether that's eliminating team members. Like, eliminating team members is another one of my goals, because if you have a weak link on your team, they are going to prevent you from achieving that goal.
Yeah.
Okay. As an example, I mean, if people's goals are not aligned, this is so, so important. I don't care if it's somebody that you are dating, right? Or I don't care if it's a business partner, right? If people do not have aligned goals, and I don't care what they are,
Yeah.
right?
So
But they must be aligned. Ironically, I actually failed recently, right? I fail a lot. So you have to acknowledge that you are going to fail, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I fail a lot. So I fail a lot. I try to minimize my failures.
So what's your, because I love that. I really love that you fail. And so what is your relationship to failure when you fail? That doesn't matter what it is. How do you approach failure?
Staying true to self, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I approach failure. I don't beat myself up about the failure. I try to quickly acknowledge the failure, right? Quickly acknowledge the failure and then remedy it. We must be going towards something.
Yeah.
just walking around wandering. Oh my God. Like, it's just the dumbest thing. Like, you gotta be going towards something. 97% of the population of society does not have goals, right?
Okay.
Yeah. 97%. That is unbelievable to me. 97%. So if you have not achieved what you set out to do, it's probably because you're part of the 97%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I am anal when it comes to my goals, like anal, and have been my entire life.
What I would like is that, because these are techniques, and I'm really hoping that people will, like, more and more people will actually buy the book and read it. But when people receive information like that, and they set the goal, they start going towards, there's so many inner processes that, they get scared, self-doubt, I don't know, like so many inner stuff. What are your
So
strengths?
fear, let me tell you. Okay, so there's fear, right, is false evidence appearing real. Most people are afraid, right? Because they're afraid of they're actually afraid of failing.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing. I'm not afraid of failing. How I eliminate the fear is getting educated. Right? It's just like you wouldn't drive a car without taking a driver's training course, right? Yeah. So I approach it the exact same way. When I am afraid of something, I go get educated, or I partner with somebody who knows how to do it. I'm not making up excuses. I'm taking a responsibility for my successes and my failures, right? And because they're going to happen. Period. I'm going to make mistakes for the rest of my life. I hope to minimize those mistakes with education. I never play the victim card. If something happened wrong, then it was my fault, and I need to remedy the situation, right?
Yeah. For me, hearing all this is just so good, because so many bad things, like traumatic things, happened to you when you were a child, right? Like, yeah. And you are not using the victim card. You could feel sorry for yourself that you were abandoned, and all those those are real stories, right? And and you're not,
well, I can't allow myself to. Everybody gets down every now and then, for whatever reasons, right? Because we are humans.
Yeah.
Myself included. I do have down days.
Yeah.
And I do question my abilities and talents, right? But I cannot get into a pity party, right, with myself.
Yeah.
It's just not enough time for it. I don't ever want to have that negative vibe about me, right? Or anything else. I mean, I don't ever want to have those types of, I mean, those are psychological. They're traumatizing, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, and there's some things in your life that causes trauma, and I've gone through many of them. But you have to be strong enough with who you are.
And you also, what I also hear, that you speak about choice, that you always choose, that there's always a choice point, that you can choose this and I can choose that, and you go towards something that is brighter and happier and more evolved, and something that is adding to you instead of going down and choosing this self pity and this, you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, you have to, Anna. I mean, you have to. I have to. I mean, because there's a lot of things I could be down for, right? You know,
Yeah.
I don't have a family. I've never had a family. I don't have anyone to depend upon, right? Holidays are horrible for me, as you know, because of that. And it's so there's all these things that could actually make me depressed, and they do make me
Really?
depressed. I embrace many people as my family
Yeah.
because that's what they are to me, right?
Like you are a free person.
I'm free. I'm free. I mean, that is the book. I escaped the madness, the ball and the
Yeah.
chain, right?
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
that's symbolic for me.
Absolutely. That's
Like,
about freedom. Yeah.
yeah, that, I mean, it's more than just financial.
Yeah.
It's about not being, held back by either monetary things or self-pity or self-doubt. It's about living an emancipated life. I'm totally emancipated from all the BS that society says that you should do, right? Here in the United States, at least, about all of these stereotypical things that society says should be the case, which
Yeah.
I think is just ridiculous.
It's like being hypnotized. That's what I say all the time, that we've been hypnotized to believe in something. And what I see is that you are free. You are free from all those beliefs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's funny. That's my show. I mean, like, I never really defined my mission statement for my company, but that's really what it's about. It's to be free. I mean, either from whatever. Be your authentic self, whatever that
Yes.
is,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And not fearful of someone not accepting you.
Yeah.
I live by my own rules,
Yeah.
right? My own rules. I don't I don't put my own beliefs on anyone else.
Yeah.
I just live by what's true to my value system,
Yeah.
right? That's it, right?
Yeah.
Just be whomever you are, and not trying to please. I've been there where I've been in things where I'm trying to please somebody else, and instead of doing what I believe is true and authentic, right? Well, that's living a lie.
Yeah.
Because sooner or later, you're going to be your true self.
And what happened to you, Gina? Your shine dimmed down, right?
Oh yeah, I was my 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 my.
Shadow.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, true story. I mean, it was horrible, and I was. It's abusive. So my whole beauty left.
Yes.
Because of me trying to be something that I was expected to be, right? And to please someone else, rather than being who I am.
Yeah.
And
So you're actually abusing yourself.
I'm abusing myself. Exactly. right? But that person wants the conformity, right? And so I give in to it a little and a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And all the while they're just sucking and sucking and sucking and taking all of you away until you are no more, right? Until you are no more. And that is a very, very, very dangerous place to be. So then it is what's really funny, it's diametrically opposed to this.
And Gena, you know that you wrote that book and you ended up in a different area in your life. You experience how it feels like when you give up yourself. And I'm just so happy that you share this with us, because you are setting goals, you follow your dreams, and you succeed to experience how it feels like when I give up myself.
True story. My cousin, I love him to death. His name is Michael Biggs, and he saw me, and he saw how nervous and you know, how out of control I had become out of the pressure that was put upon me by me to live this false life.
Exactly.
to appease someone.
See, is there anything that you would like to add to that?
You know, come to my YouTube channel if anyone wants my help at genalofton.com. I have a the YouTube channel is Gena Lofton. The website is genalofton.com. Or, you know, you can go on Amazon and buy the book. It's in audio format, book format. It's written, and you could just, you know, it's all about living your authentic self. And thank you, Anna, for actually having me on the show. This was amazing.
So, well, thank you. And I hope we chat again.
Hi, everyone. Thank you.
So
Thanks,
Gena,
Anna.